Avocado.
With what I do, I feel like I strongly, and I keep saying this, I feel like nobody can touch me in puns and wordplay department.
That's a good right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to The Young God, a podcast for gods. I'm your host Rodney Amokache, and my guest today is a programmer, comedian, writer, a true multi-hyphenate. If you're unfamiliar with the term, a multi-hyphenate is a person whose career spans multiple skills and fields. Sort of like an actor, singer, songwriter, or an architect, designer, photographer. The main detail to note about multi-hyphenates is that each skill is a source of income, an actual means of livelihood, not a mere hobby or talent. In fact, I'm currently working on an episode deconstructing the emergence of multi-hyphenates in a post-COVID-19 world. Watch the space, you could learn a lot from that one. Oh, and by the way, I just realized that we hit 80 episodes last week. Can you imagine? Y'all, we've been doing this for 23 months and we have hit 80. When I realized it, I was like just awestruck at, first of all, my commitment and passion for the young God, but also the fact that you guys have stuck with me through 80 fucking episodes. When I think back, I'm like, what even the hell was I talking about that you guys would stick with me? But I appreciate it. I love it, and I can't wait till we hit 100 more. I'm hoping we do that by the end of the year, by the way. I wonder how we're going to celebrate when that happens. Any suggestions? But back to my guest. He just released his first book titled The Souls That Said No. I haven't read it, but the Amazon reviews are fire. He wrote the book after a bad breakup, which he declined to get into, and I respect that. One thing we both agree on, though, is that heartbreak builds character and inspires great novels. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yes. His name is Yuri Winston, and don't let the European name fool you. He's as black and as Nigerian as they come. Here's a fun fact. This conversation was not in the plan. When I woke up that morning, I had no idea that I'll be recording an episode with this gentleman. And here's the story. Usually I plan weeks, maybe months in advance, coming up with questions and taking notes in preparation for conversations. But in this case, I had just finished recording an episode with a mutual friend at the cafe where I usually do my guest work. And Yuri and I bumped into each other for the first time. The vibe was right, the timing was right, it was record at first sight. And yeah, so we decided that on the spot we would make like Nike and just do it. And we did it. And we hope you enjoy it. Lego.
Thank you very much.
Evening.
Would you like some water?
I'm good. Perfect.
Alright. First of all, your name is Yuri. Who named you that?
It is. Let me tell you what I tell the women when they ask me this question. I lie to them that I'm half Russian. My grandma is Russian and whatever. But yeah. My father spent most of his life in Russia, and he came back and he was obsessed with Russian names.
Yeah.
My brother is called Sasha, and my sister is Alba.
Oh wow! Like Alba, A-U-B-A.
A-L-B-A.
Oh.
Yeah, like Jordi Alba from Barcelona.
First of all,
Yeah.
I think Yuri is a dope name.
Thank you.
I think you know that too.
I do.
Yeah.
It seduces. It does the work. Yeah.
And then your last name is
Winston.
Yuri Winston.
Yeah.
Nigga, if that's not a porn star name, or some like, no, that's a very fitting name.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, and so you're a writer and a programmer. First, which one comes first?
Writer. I believe writer comes before everything else. Because I am also a comedian, but then the comedian bit is just to spread the word, just spread the awareness of my name or whatever. Then that brings them to what I do primarily, which is the writing. So.
So like, where do you perform, or like, what's your shtick?
Well, recently I've started to frequent ALS, Abuja Literary Society. I don't know if you know of it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I do.
And because I bring in something that isn't usually present there, which is comedy. They don't usually have comedians. They just have poets and spoken word people, which I find, to be honest, very boring.
Me too.
Right? right? So yeah, though, like the sort of comedy that I do is more of puns, wordplay type stuff, you know? Things that make them think, and they eat all that shit up because it's, you know, it's intellectual or whatever. So
Yeah. And it's different.
yeah, it is different. There is. I haven't met any African comedian that does stuff like that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to hear it. I'm not gonna put you on the spot now and say tell me a joke, but
I could do that.
okay.
Yeah, because like last time I performed was last week Friday. So one of the jokes that I told that got the utmost applause was brace yourself.
Okay.
Was my girlfriend left me because of my snobbishness and my homosexuality. I cannot stop doing guy. so yeah, those sort of jokes, those yeah.
You know, when you said snobbishness and homosexuality,
Yeah.
I was like, where is this going?
Where is this going? Right,
And
right,
then-
right.
Okay, that
But yeah, like, you know, stuff like that is sort of amazing for me to write because it's like it's the thought process behind it. The thought process behind that was doing guys. Someone just mentioned stop doing guy. I was like, doing guys sounds like it sounds gay. You know,
Yeah,
how can
yeah.
I make a joke out of it? And then I did that, and
so we're assuming that guy is the person's name.
he's a person. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Okay, that's clever.
Thank you.
So like, where does your sense of humor come from? Like, what inspires the process?
British comedy, British joke
Ricky Gervais
writers.
gets you all the time, huh?
Jimmy Carr, Lee Mack, and stuff. Yeah, like wit is sort of what I want to be known for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I like to think of myself as a bit of a comedian as well.
Okay.
I don't have any like jokes.
I want to put you on the spot.
in my back pocket.
Okay.
But I guarantee you that now that we're in this zone,
Yeah.
as we're conversing, I'm gonna sneak it in,
Sprinkle it and
sprinkle in there, catch you off guard. Yeah. So my favorite comedians are Dave Chappelle.
I love him. He's mine as well.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
mine. I love Cat Williams.
Yeah.
I love Chris Rock.
It's also mine.
And there's one more guy I can't forget, but those three guys, you know, take the cake from me. And you know, in this day of political correctness, how do you deal with that? How do you find yourself having to like water down your jokes, or do you like just say what the fuck you want to
Well,
say?
see, here's the thing. I started writing jokes 2011, 2012, right? And it was in a website called Wikipedia, which was known. It's been shut down now for one reason. The reason is that it was a dark humor website. It was really, really, really dark. I'm talking rape, pedophile, incest jokes, right? So I would usually post those kind of jokes on Twitter. And back then, Twitter, like, there was no PC culture back then. There was no cancel culture back then. It was anything was acceptable. So how that's affected my jokes now, like I still write those kind of jokes. I just don't post them on social media because fast forward 5 years from now, if I do become the president or whatever, which I'm running for president, by the way, somebody could pull up those materials and then go, hey, you told a joke about rape and so on and so on. It's like, yeah, so.
You know, I think that's like really, really like silly that people do that. You know that thing happened with Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
Where he was supposed to host the Oscars, and then something from like 10 years ago came out. And I feel like that's so weird because at the time, the joke came out.
It was funny.
It was funny, it was normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And now suddenly you're holding this guy accountable for something that everybody took as the
Everyone
norm.
accepted back then.
Did you get
you know?
like I feel like that cancel culture stuff is bullshit in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, then I guess you also have to add that nowadays people just want validation, and I guess it's because it's more of a Twitter thing. This cancel culture is sort of originated from Twitter, and my own theory about people on Twitter nowadays is everyone is just there just to, you know, it's like a mob mentality thing. You get like it's what the cool kids approve, and all that. I had a point, but I've completely forgotten what it was.
It happens.
Yeah, but yeah, though. Anyway, smoke weed every day.
Are you high right now? Are you?
Am I what?
Are you?
High right now? No, but there is a scent here. There's like a tea thing, and it's assaulting my nostrils. It's quite and I know I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, we're in a coffee shop right now. So
Is there weed here?
I don't know. I mean,
If there is, I shall frequent here more often. You know?
yeah. Okay. We can ask the management.
Okay. All right. So back to the Chappelle thing. I'm guessing that Chappelle's last special sort of made you very happy because he tackled the comeback. You know, the PC.
You know what? Yes, and hearing that, I figured that PC culture has its place. It has it's necessary. Like you can't just be saying all kinds of shit to people for no reason and not have consequences. But at the same time, I feel like comedy, especially stand-up, especially like that enclosed space, should be like we need a space where it's allowed to say exactly what's on your mind
as a joke.
As a joke,
yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Like I feel we need a space for that, not like just really walking around talking shit. But we still need those spaces, especially in this world, because where else will you release? Because the purpose of a joke, I feel like, is not just to, poke fun at the victim,
right?
But it's a good way of making you think about the issue,
Yeah.
without drawing on the negative feelings
that
are usually associated with it.
Yeah.
Like the rape joke he told about Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
The way he artfully delivered the point.
Yeah.
Like in a way only Dave Chappelle could.
Yeah.
So he's talking about rape and the fact that he raped like over 46 people.
Yeah.
And he said, man, that nigga did Steph Curry numbers. If you know anything about Steph Curry, you know.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, rape is a touchy issue, but when he said it like that, it's like, oh, Steph. True, that's like nobody has raped at that rate.
At that rate before,
and it's not that we know of.
Yeah.
And then, except the other guy who came out in the UK, in Manchester. You heard about that?
I think it was known to be like he's raped the most people ever or something. It
And
was
men.
a kid. Yeah. Whoa.
And it was men he was raping. Yeah.
Well then, that's talent. That's what that is.
Bruh.
That's fucking talent.
He invite you in, drug your water, and butt fuck you until it's.
And that's the thing though. Like how can you report that though? Like who is going to buy that?
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
None of these guys knew they were raped. They woke up the next day and went home. It was only after, I think, someone got wind of his phone, and he used to tape it, like he would tape his fucking victims as he was doing that, and they found 40 hours of footage on the nigga's iPhone. We're talking 256 gig of memory.
40 hours.
40 hours.
I mean, not all at once though. Like it's not just.
No, all together.
Yeah. No.
And like, imagine the police having to call you. Excuse me, sir.
You were raped.
Yeah, we just found footage that you were raped on so and so day by such a person. Would you like to come to the station and see for yourself what? And you're like, what? And you would go and you'd see yourself.
But man, I mean, I'm sure after being butt fucked, you should be able to tell that, yo, my butt hurts, right? Or he just has a little penis that you can't really tell.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he also lubricated. So you, like, I don't know the logistics.
I have never done that, so I can't say. But no. I totally get that. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
The thing also I would say about jokes, dark jokes are say you are in a comedy club and you tell a joke about a celebrity who had like a very bad experience, and everyone there laughed because obviously it was a joke, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody posts that joke on let's say on a website or whatever, and then the people that it happened to, like the celebrity or whatever, they get to find out, and then everyone starts to be very irate at the comedian. Is it the comedian's fault then at this point, or is it the journalist's fault? Because the journalist has there was this comedian that put this, he sort of took a bullet that was going nowhere, and he just took the bullet and put it in front of the celebrity. Like the bullet wasn't going anywhere. He didn't tell it to the face of the celebrity because then that would be fucking cruel.
Yeah.
He took it to like some, just a bunch of strangers or whatever, and then so on now because they want to get the guy fired or they want to get him. It doesn't make any sense at this point. But like people who get mad over jokes, most times are not even mad. They just want to be among. They just want to ruin someone's life. They just
Yeah.
So fuck them anyway.
Yeah. Nothing's really ever that deep. Because I feel like if it's in a joke, if it's in a stand-up setting, that's the context.
Exactly.
You get
Exactly.
It's not like he went on his phone, when IG Diamond was like,
and tag them and
and started like talking stuff. It was something people paid for, and it was. And fun thing is, I think it's more than anything, it's a form of expression.
It is.
And I feel like at any point in time, if you're trying to like stifle someone's ability to express themselves, no matter how crazy it sounds, I feel like that is like wrong.
It's trying to control thoughts.
Control thoughts.
If someone cannot have the ability to think freely and speak freely, then you are trying to control their thoughts, and that is a form of thought police. It's a form of fascism or whatever. So.
And no original thoughts can ever be had without offending someone.
Exactly.
That's even the funny thing about it. So I feel stand-up comedy is a precious genre to me, and I feel for you, for any comedian in Nigeria right now, especially in Abuja, which is like on that tipping point between conservative and like alternative.
Yeah.
So it's always tipping. I feel like we need voices that like
that challenge
it, man. Because people are trying too hard to be funny as opposed to telling truths.
Right.
With that sprinkle of humor.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the average Nigerian comedian is like trying to make stereotypical jokes of Yoruba people, or you just act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand what you mean. I mean, I think most of it is, to me, it's just not funny. I feel like every comedian nowadays tries to fit into the box of what they feel a Nigerian comedian should sound like, which is this: be loud, speak pidgin in a very worry type way, and then just be slightly funny, and that's it. But then the problem with that is we've seen the original comedians who have pioneered this shit, and then we just see you and then we go, you're just a fucking carbon copy of this other guy. Like, find your own personality, just do something different, stand out or something. Right?
Oh man,
because it's fun performing. Part of why it's fun performing is because of groupies. People, there's so many times where I performed. There was one time that I performed and then a random girl just ran and she just hugged me, and stuff like that I live for. Love to be recognized.
I know,
for my hard work.
It makes it's not too much to ask.
It's not too much to ask. Just recognize me, man.
I was at an open mic myself. Like last year, and I've had these poems on my phone that I've never said ever, and they're like really like, how do you say, out there, and it goes something a little bit like, I want to finance your finance. I want to make your dreams come to pass.
I like that line.
So that's how the poem went. Like, clever wordplay, man.
Yeah,
I got it too.
Yeah.
So, I performed that, and at first we're like, you hear the crowd, whoa, and then they appreciate that someone just comes out there and just scatters what should be. So man, there's a market for that. And I think comedians need to like start being clever, yo. Yeah, start being clever. Yeah, make people think. Make them, like go deeper into some of this stuff.
Are we talking about comedy?
You know what? I think it applies to all facets of life.
Yeah,
go deeper, bro.
I think so too. But now, to be honest, though, part of
not just the tip.
Okay, now I forgot what I was going to say. I swear, I've legit forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So what I was going to say was this. So people usually ask, why? Do I ever get nervous before I perform? Do I ever feel like people are going to boo because maybe a joke is too clever, or maybe people don't get it or something like that? And then this is going to sound as though I'm bragging, and to be honest, I don't give a fuck. So I don't ever think that that I would ever get booed or anything, because the style of comedy that I do, like, it can be found anywhere around. And it's, for instance, if you're a singer and you want to go sing in front of an audience, there are people that will judge you because there are artists out there. There could be someone that sings in the crowd, so it could be like, all right, this is good, but I could do better, or whatever. But with what I do, I feel like I strongly, and I keep saying this, I feel like nobody can touch me in puns and wordplay department.
That's a good right there.
I feel like nobody can touch me in that room, whatever room I'm in. And in fact, in the fucking country, and again, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I've been doing this for so long that I've sort of mastered, this thing I do, which is I'm like, I tell the crowd to throw me a word or a phrase, and instantly I make a joke out of it. Like, it's that quick.
Yeah, nigga.
Well, not every time.
Yeah.
But hold on, but like pancakes is a funny word because it's like pan and cake. It's literally just one thing. It's can't really, you know. Anyway, I'm dropping excuses, but yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It happens. It was too quick.
Yeah.
In fact, you were thinking of something else.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, it should be noted that there's a girl with a nice ass next to me that's distracting me. So that's why I couldn't think of it.
It's been a long day.
No, yeah,
It's been a long year.
It's been a long. Well, the year just started though.
Exactly. Bruh.
It's February. It's mid-February.
In January, we had the Australia bushfires. We had Kobe's death. We had Meghan Markle and Prince Harry leave the royal family. And we had
World War III.
Potential
World War III.
And coronavirus in January, bro.
Right.
So it's been a long year. So you're writing a book.
I have written a book.
Yes, you've written a book.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's it about? And why?
The book is titled "The Souls That Said No." It's pretty much about this. Yes.
Yeah.
Kunle Stevenson uncovers the darkest secrets of the Nigerian government after he takes his own life. He strangely finds himself in the heart of a conspiracy that has been going for 20 years. It's too late to save himself, but can he save his homeland?
What did it take to write such a book? It sounds like...
Okay, well, my inspiration to write this was, well, it was a lot of things because I was coming from a place in my life at that time where I had my very first heartbreak.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, which was very terrible. Like it was very, very, very
The best
terrible.
stories start with heartbreak.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I had like some huge internet conspiracy at that time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to pull myself, I need to make myself feel good. And I turned to the one thing that I do best, which is writing. So I wrote 2 books, one of which is this, The Souls That Said No. This is a novella. And then after this one, once the aim is once people have started to sort of talk about me or whatever, then I put the other one. The other one is, I think it's fucking excellent, if I say so myself.
That's it. You could grow.
That one could be my Da Vinci Code actually. It could be the one that. But anyway, let me not talk too much about it. But yeah, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I get inspired by reading and by watching things that I like, which is mystery, thrilling stuff, like the X-Files. I like reading Dan Brown. Dan Brown is my favorite author. Just stuff that makes you think, you know. So I try to apply some philosophical things and sort of put that into my book to make my readers think. You get what I mean?
Well, I'm also writing a book. I'm writing one book now, which is self-help.
Yeah.
And I have a plan to write another book in the future, which is going to be more fiction.
Okay.
But the book I'm currently writing is called To Be a God.
That's a self-help book.
Yeah, To Be a God Among Men. And basically, it's me sharing like what I believe are the psychological traits a person must have in this world to like be able to thrive and to continue to grow and to...
Tell me some of them, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Things like self-awareness. Like how deep it is and how like underrated it is in our culture, and how like just the simple thing of knowing why you're the way you are is like the trigger for all kinds of growth in all areas of your life. I talk about being able to reinvent yourself. So you get to a point where you're like, you've been living based on what the world has expected of you. And now it's like, it's okay to like reinvent yourself, to decide, okay, I want to be this is the character I want to be. Same way the young God is my character. It's like an idea that I formed and a story I tell myself. You get? So you can now decide to like reinvent yourself in a way that allows you to make sense of the world your way. And then you go from there. Then I talk about self-reliance, being able to depend on yourself for your needs. You get? You don't have to, you can enjoy things without needing things. You don't have to need people. You don't have to like build yourself to be strong and dependable on yourself. And so then I just go like that. Each chapter just dissects the trait that I feel like makes people like truly amazing in this world. So that's really what it is.
I heard that. That sounds very, very interesting because most of the conversations that I have with people are the sort of center around self-development, you know? So yeah, I'll be super interested to read that.
And my favorite chapter is the one about the inner child. It's the last chapter actually. It's like, so while you've done all these things, do not forget that like to maintain that core of curiosity
that is very vital because we're sort of advised to be childlike. I mean, not childish, but childlike because
childlike. Childish is being immature.
It's being immature.
Childlike is being curious, being playful,
being natural.
Asking for what you want.
Yeah.
Being creative.
Yeah.
So that just tops it off. Don't ever lose that, because once you lose it,
you become it sort of goes back to the Dave Chappelle Mark Twain thing that he said. He told the crowd what his mother used to tell him, that you should always be a lamb, but you should always I've forgotten what is it.
It's you have to be a lion. You have to learn to be a lion so you can be the lamb
you truly are. Because the world is
exactly. Exactly.
It also goes back to the phrase, which is I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. I don't know if you ever saw that phrase.
I've never seen it. Please say it again.
I'm probably butchering it, but it's like I would rather be a warrior in a garden than be a gardener in a war.
In a war, actually, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Because you sort of have to, in as much as you have to be kind and you have to be very, very, dare I say, innocent. I don't know if innocent is the right word to use, but then you should also know that the world is not as innocent. They won't mirror. You sort of have to put your guard. You have to defend yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be strong.
You have
to have teeth to protect yourself and to protect the people around you. Yeah. But then you should also show kindness to other people.
Let your strength be like the last resort.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all these niggas, because the world is tough, man. That's really the idea.
It's tough.
It's tough, and you gotta be like reaching towards being the best version of yourself.
I mean, which is why, to be honest, I am all with a lot of the feminist things that they say, that feminists say, but then when they try to downplay masculinity and then call it toxic because of the aggression and all the, they don't the world is tough. You are supposed to be that way as a man. Now it is because a strong man is a man who can have all of that and then still have the fucking mind to then protect the ones he loves, protect everyone. I mean, you know what I mean. But then you sort of have to be fucking tough, because it's a fucking tough world. So I'm guessing also in terms of finding oneself, you would also talk about meditation and stuff, right?
Meditation, yes. All these mental activities that really open up the mind a little bit. Yeah, because it's very rare that we just focus on our breathing. Let's just say we are working, or let's say during our lunch break or whatever. We're usually just in the world. There's a video that someone sent to me. He was talking about meditation. Saying about how you should meditate. It's better when you wake up from sleep. Not after a long day when you're tired or whatever. You wake up from sleep, then you just do breathing exercises. And the more you focus more on your breath, the more you're away from your thoughts, and that helps you. And then the more you focus, it's a lot. Cool is connected. There's a phrase that goes, humans spend 90% of their lives in memory. I think it's true, because it's we are never really mindful. And part of what meditation does is to get you to be mindful and to be in the moment. And part of, I feel like the whole inner peace thing, I feel like it does exist. Okay. And why I feel that way is, 3 years ago, I was trying to cultivate something. I feel like I sort of mastered it then. And the thing then was that I realized that crying over spilled milk is pointless. So I cultivated that thing unconsciously to the point now where if something bad happens, if something that doesn't go as planned happens, because of how mindful that I have trained myself to become, I go through it in that moment that it's happened. And then I just, I don't feel the negative impact of not having that thing or that not going the wrong way. And then I end up being happy. I end up being just happy. And then I think that, in my opinion, is what the inner peace thing is. Because, a lot of people get stressed and worried over. There's always something, whether it's an uncle, whether it's you just don't have enough money. Doesn't matter. There's always something bothering you. There always is something. And what people do is they latch onto that negative thing, and then that causes them to have stress, to have worry, and then at some point it just eats away at them, and they just end up always being worried and end up being stretched. You get what I mean? But then once you just accept things that you can't change, then you sort of reach a place in your life where
nothing bugs you anymore. Whenever something negative happens to you, you go through it in the moment. It's part of living in the moment. So because it's sort of like being here. Most times I just come to a place and I just leave my phone. I put my phone on silent, even if there's nothing spectacular happening. If it's just this jazz music playing in the fucking whatever, I just enjoy it. You get what I mean? And it's like the more mindful you are, the more you start to notice that there are so many ingredients of so many things that are happening in the now that would make you feel good. But because your intellect has seen it as this is boring, this doesn't make any sense. But then the more you become mindful, which is the more you meditate, the more you become mindful, the more you subconsciously and unconsciously become mindful, the more you start to find yourself just being happy for no reason whatsoever. Because you start to imagine that, start to know that because we're all human beings, and nature, like we're one with nature, and then because of our thoughts just take over our head and make us worried all the time. But the more you stay away from your intellect and be more in the moment, the more you start to be happy. It's like you see all these pictures of children in the village who are just playing around. They have no worries in the world. They don't have mobile phones, which many of us can't live without these mobile phones. They just run around with trees. It's kind of why children are like the way they are. They don't have any worries. But then a lot of people will say, well, when you become an adult, you have all these responsibilities that you have to do. Well, you can't deal with these responsibilities without being worried about what you can't do. Because if you worry about the things that you can't do, then you're fucking yourself up, and then you don't have peace of mind.
One of the beautiful things about meditation is that you start to appreciate the little things. You notice things, man. Because you're like, have you got this my tattoo?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is that? What's the?
Yeah, it's a symbol for being in the moment. It's the greater than less than sign facing inwards, and that dot's like what has come before and what is to come don't matter. All that matters is
because it kind of looks like two Pac-Man is trying to get away from the
yeah, but that's really what it is.
What's it called?
I don't know. I just saw it. Yeah, when I was reading about meditation, and I saw this as one of the things. Right. So whenever I look at it, it just reminds me to be present, to stay. It's only what I got, and I think it's the most meaningful thing I can put on my body right now. But man, I think the reason why I started this podcast is because I'm just really, really interested in what it's like. There's so many great people out there, in history who have been able to like transcend themselves in terms of like being able to achieve a lot professionally and personally, and just make an impact in ways that are immeasurable. So for me, that is something that I've been trying to like cultivate myself. Like, what are these things, these attributes that make these guys tick? What is it? What is like the kingdom of God? What does it mean to be like a God among men? So like basically, while other people are busy milling about petty things, I'm like trying to reach a higher, plane mentally, emotionally. I want to see things that people can't see, feel things, like get my tuition running. Like, and these are the things that make life just so much more interesting as opposed to, just the mundane things that people.
The material things.
Like being able to spot nuance and appreciate like the great areas of life. That is my shit, and that's what this podcast is about. It's just trying to explore that with people like such as you, who are doing interesting things, who have like really cool minds that have experienced stuff. Like nothing makes character like breakups. Low key. Always people that like dates, man, feel shit. Let people fuck you up. That shit can make you.
I tell my younger ones. I tell like the younger people who work in offices like IT and corporates. I tell them that people who haven't had girlfriends. I tell them that you should get into relationships for the sole purpose of having your heart broken. And they never seem to understand that. It's like, now imagine not falling in love until you are married. And then your wife starts to do what women do. No offense to women, but then you don't know how to handle that shit. And then your wife now leaves you. Or let's say your wife now sleeps with like your best friend or something. You gotta go kill yourself because you haven't dealt with this shit before. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. I feel like I'm a stronger person than I was pre-breakup. This was like 3 years ago that I had my heart broken. It plunged me into. I'd rather not go into it, but it made me do really, really terrible things.
And then you wrote a fucking book.
And I wrote a fucking book. So yeah, thank you, ex-girlfriend of mine. I still will murder you if I find you, but yeah, thank you.
Now breakups are underrated. I see people always running away from relationships or from pain.
Yeah, from pain. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you know what? Actually, let's empathize for a second.
Oh yeah, of course.
We get it.
You sound like assholes.
Yeah,
Like fuck you, right, for paying you.
we get it. Like pain sucks, but
Yeah.
like the flip side, the silver lining is that it really like makes you like it brings out the best in you, man. You know, so I always like I can't wait to like fall for someone, and obviously you hope for the best.
Yeah.
But then when things go bad, I'm ready for it. Like
Yeah.
I'll feel what I feel, man. Let whatever happens, and then
You get the silver lining from it.
you know you get the rewards from it. Same with like writing a book. Like the reason it's hard, man. Like to be able to like put your ideas down and really feel like it will make sense to you and someone reading it.
Yeah.
It's hard, and you have to go over it over and over again. But then you know that at the end of it all, if you're able to like push through and do this one time, you can do it 100 times.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I love that. I love that quote. So yeah, man, writing is actually a fantastic thing. It is my greatest passion, and I hope to be recognized internationally as one of the best that has ever done it. Probably even the best, to be honest.
Speak it.
Because like I study the best. I read the best stories. And I pick up elements of like different movies to find out what was it about the story that made this a fantastic thing. What like I listen to songs. I feel like with every single artsy thing, there's an underlying thing. It's like for every Eminem song, for every Ludacris song, there's something about it. That
hidden
makes
truth.
There's a hidden truth.
Yeah.
There's a hidden. Maybe there's a way he rapped it, the way he delivered it, and then I found out with music anyway. Let's say with rap music, I realized that you sort of have to create something interesting. You have to get you have to hold someone's interest. If you're rapping, if you're just using just one flow, person loses interest. Like it's more of a mental thing. You get what I mean? If you're watching a movie that just has something bland, like a scene that just goes on for too long, you can do that. But like if you're talking about something important, whatever. But if you're just being monotone in your music or in your art, whatever it is, you can lose someone's interest. So you sort of have to. You have to be unpredictable in your art, and that will keep someone's attention.
Yes.
Whether you're writing, whether you're rapping. If someone thinks you want to rhyme this word, you rhyme a different word. You have to keep the person's mind engaged. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like whenever we listen to a song and I'm able to like anticipate what the next
subconsciously you sort of lose. Okay, this person is just a regular rapper. You get what I mean?
And everything is like a hidden truth in every little thing.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's where like the joy of life is, when you notice that those things that are below the surface. Whether it's in a person or in a book, bro. Life is deep and it's simple at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's this symbol. It's of a snake eating its own tail. It's called the Ouroboros. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, it represents a lot of things, but there's a particular thing. There's a quote which I got from the X-Files, and I put it in the opening credits of my book. It is, "You must go full circle to find the truth." Now, I believe I have a firm belief in reincarnation. I feel like what goes around will come out. Will like what happens. What goes around will come around. Probably not in this earth life, but maybe in the next life or something. Because I believe that that if you see life as if you see existence as just one life, like we just the one life that you're living right now, then you can't really understand the perfection of God. I'm not trying to go into spirituality or whatever, but it's like,
why not?
Okay, sure, but like if you see it in terms of like different earth lives, then you can find certain answers like why bad things happen to good people, for instance. You get what I mean? Like this person that seemed good or whatever, something bad happens to it. Like perhaps maybe if you think about it, that maybe it was his karma from a different life that sort of affected him now. You get what I mean? Because only then does it close its cycle. Only then does the snake does it come full circle. And it is in that is that is the redemption of it. So it's like we have come here once before. I feel like we have come here once before, probably even several times. And each time we come here, we do something that we have to sort of pay for it or whatever. But because there is not enough time, we then, are reborn into like a new life or whatever. So part of what I feel we should aspire to is just to do good, to make sure that we don't like this cycle of repeating, this cycle of being rebirthed. I think that's the word. Just isn't continuous or whatever. Because the more you come on, the more you find yourself probably find it like doing fresh bad deeds, and then you have to now pay. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel life is deep, yo. Life is deep. Like, all we can do is just be the best versions of it. Just take care of one another, man. Just love one another.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Like, life is deep, but then when you get to the depths, you realize it's simple.
It was simple. I thought you just didn't recognize it then because you
Yeah.
just didn't understand a lot of shit. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So I think right now I'm realizing that in like relationships, with people, and then obviously my own personal growth. So where I would like to take that is like into business. Like, what is that hidden truth in business that once you figure it out, like, it just makes the process make sense. Like, you have that intuition of what to do next. You know,
that is one thing. Intuition, right? It's like the more mindful you are, the more your intuition starts to speak. Well, it's always speaking, but because we're more intellectual, we don't listen to it.
Yeah.
So there are two parts of our brain. There's the intellect, and then there's the intuition, right?
Yeah.
We because of how we have evolved to be thinking people, we've sort of shut down that intuitive part of ourselves, and the intuition, I feel, is a part of everyone that transcends time and space.
Yeah.
And it's like your connection to the Godhead.
Yeah.
And the more you become more mindful, the more you listen to yourself, the more it speaks. The louder it speaks, the more you can hear it. Yeah. And then the more you pay attention to it, the more it's just you sort of have like a sword. You sort of battle, like you go through life a lot easier because you are using a part of you that most people aren't using. That is connected to everything. It's one with everything.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like the more intuitive you are, the more life you just smooth sail through life.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
Yes. It's easy to see people that have like tapped in.
Yeah.
People that you see them who are like winning in all areas of life, not just like making money or just like winning in all aspects of life. That's almost connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. For a first time episode being it's
how long have we?
Almost an hour, man.
Really?
Almost an hour, yeah.
Yeah,
like, it's 6 minutes.
Somewhere out there's a bottle of Budweiser begging for me to drink it.
And we gotta get there, man.
Yeah, dude, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is my very first part. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So Yuri Winston, where can we find you?
Okay, well, you can find me on social media. I go by the name Snikogs or Snikogs, SNIKOGGS.
Oh, yeah, that's you. Yes.
Yeah, that is me on all social media platforms. My name is Yuri Winston. My YouTube video for like my stand-up comedy is like Snikogs Open Mic Comedy. You can find me telling my very, very rubbish / amazing jokes on there.
I bet they're amazing.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to come and see you like in person.
I feel like I let you down earlier. So now throw me a word and then I shall do a joke after this. Let me make magic on air. Go on then.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be easy. It can be hard. Celibate.
Yes.
All right. As a rapper, I did an album about people who don't have sex. I didn't sell a lot of it. I just celibate. Well, that wasn't perfect. That wasn't perfect. But you know.
Yes. No, that was good. That was good. Like,
thank you.
Right there. I didn't think. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think I was gonna?
I didn't think you did. Okay. Okay. No, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yuri Winston.
Young God podcast.
Young God, man.
Rodney, thank you.
Yes,
I really, really had a good time.
And that's that.